I've been building my container house off-grid and on a tiny budget. So I decided I wanted to save some money by milling my own timber for decking boards for the rooftop deck and the wraparound deck, and for furniture and feature pieces within the house. The only problem was I was using this tiny chainsaw mill. In total, I think I have about 1,200 decking boards to mill. And a few people were a little bit worried that that may take me a lifetime to mill that many decking boards. And I can tell you they probably weren't wrong. Don't get me wrong, I would have got the job done, but at the rate I was going, which was 4 slabs a day, it would have taken months or possibly years if I wasn't doing it every day. I realised it was probably time to reallocate some money from the build to a timber mill. So come on, let's run the new girl in. Oh my God. It's fucking working. Oh, fucking who? It's a big boy. Holy shit, was that not the easiest thing that you've ever seen in your life? Ah! Oh my God, oh my God. This has changed everything. Everything. Holy shit. Look at that. This is insane. Now I just have to set it at 30 mil, so 3 centimeters. And I will cut my decking boards. They're gonna end up to be 19 mil, but you gotta allow for shrinkage and planning and all that. Wow, I'm gonna get through everything so easy now. The hardest part is just gonna be getting them there, which wasn't that hard. That was one of the biggest logs I have as well, and that was pretty simple, out of the jar anyway. Holy shit. Game changer. Where is my stick? Just gonna mark the wood 3 centimeters down so I know how far to cut. Simple as that. Okay, so that's way too high. That's going higher, I think. Let's go down. That's it. Just gonna check this is level. Yeah. Let's cut our first slab. Let's see the first slab. I don't know if this is the greatest bit of wood, but I don't know if any of them are. Oh boy. It's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. Hopefully it gets better as we go. Easiest slab I have ever got. Holy shit. Oh, I'll put them over here actually. Okay, let's do it again. Step 1, mark her out. Okay, 3. Right, let's get it down to 3. I think that's it. Tighten these all up. I mean, would you have a look at that? This isn't even that good of a piece, but how pretty is that? This is insane. It was taking me a whole day to do 4 slabs, maybe 5 slabs if I was lucky. I just did 5 slabs in 50 minutes. So 10 minutes a slab. That is just ridiculous. So if you were ever thinking of getting a timber mill and you weren't sure if it's worth it 10 times, 1,000 times actually easier than the chainsaw mill. The 10 minutes with the resetting it up and everything. Game changer. Here we go again. That was easily the most satisfying milling day I've ever had by far. But now I need to get them all away and stored, and I am definitely running out of space, which is a real problem, but that's something I'll have to sort later. This is just so exciting that I can get the process underway. I've still got sun, I don't want to jinx it, knock on wood, get away mosquitoes. So it would be good to get this wrapped up as quickly as possible. But yes, definitely have to work out the storing situation. But I might have a solution, maybe. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet because it's just a maybe, but it would be perfect. I have something to show you that's going to up my home build game to expert level. As you know, I live off the grid and I rely on portable power stations for my entire container home build. The Building.a AC300 plus B300 home backup system was actually the first power stations that I ever got here at the homestead. And they absolutely changed my life when it came to powering the build. And now I've just started using the Building.a Elite 200 V2, which is an absolute game changer when it comes to powerful endurance in a compact design. This guy really is the king of endurance, which means a longer life, lower cost, and greener choices. And you know me, I'm a huge fan of sustainability. The Building.a Elite 200 V2 has a lifespan of 17 years with daily full charge and discharge cycles, meaning it doesn't have to be replaced as often, which is less waste on the environment. And that's backed by CNAS, who have certified it to last over 6,000 cycles and use only 10 watt in standby, which is 3 times less than industry standard. It is also unmatched in power with a 2,074 WH capacity and a total output of 2,800 watts. But the real winner is it has a Herculean mode that supplies you with 3,900 watt to handle heavy loads and provide you with long-lasting energy. The Building.a Elite 200 V2 has double the power for half the space. And that's why it's perfect for me to use inside of the containers during the upcoming winter months, because I'm kind of starting to run out of space in there with all the materials that I've got. It's the smallest 2 kWh power station in the world, and it's actually about the same size as a 1 kWh power station, while being 30% smaller than the previous model, which means I can fit it in small spaces whenever I need. The Building.a Elite 200 V2 is superior in safety and reliability, with groundbreaking leak protection design that is unique to Building.a and a dual layer outer shell for superior shock resistance. Which means I can do this. Just kidding. Another massive plus is it has intelligent power management, so it has a built-in AI BMS, which enables real-time monitoring for efficient battery management with smart app control via Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, which provides you with clear insights into energy savings and the ability to change between charging modes from the app, but also into whisper quiet mode, which is under 16 dB. It is so quiet, listen. You having trouble hearing anything? That's the point. To explore how this smart photovoltaic technology can enhance your life with the Building.a Elite 200 V2, there is a link below in my description. This is actually such an exciting stage of the build at the moment. I've got the new timber mill so I can mill all my jarrah and all my marri, and I'm also starting on the interior build out. So I've started on the restoration process for the windows, and it is a very long, delicate and time consuming process. And I had to test and trial a bunch of different methods. I could not stand paint stripper, so after a bit of thinking, I discovered that residue sanding discs were the way to go, and they can rip off layers of ancient paint in one go, but you just have to be very careful. After using the residue sanding disc, I make a start with my orbital sander with different grits to smooth down the timber, as well as my Dremel to get into those tiny places, which is by far the hardest part. It's a bit dark in here, but I've got this window and this window down here, and their casements pretty much done. It's just the finer Dremel work. But today I'm going to try strip as many windows as I can. Let's do it. Hear me out. I said I was never going to use paint stripper again because I effing hate the stuff. But are you seeing what I'm seeing? It looks to me, I'm probably going to be proved wrong after I use this. Never again. Never again. But it looks to me like I can only see one layer on this window in particular. It looks the same on the frame and on the casement. So if it's just one layer, maybe it's better to use the paint stripper. So I know, I said I was never going to use it again, but it makes sense, Bloody paint stripper. All right, let's do this. Don't want to do this, bloody hate the stuff, but let's do it. We got to do things we don't like in life, because that's how we build strong willpower. Let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. Let's hope for the bloody best. Well, I gave the paint stripper a second chance, and you know what? Never again. Never again. Nah. Yuck. Still yuck. Where's the grinder? Fuck yeah. That's so satisfying. I have ordered a heat gun online, but it's going to take its sweet time to get here, unfortunately. Is done. Well, the residue sanding this part. Still have to sand it and Dremel it, but I'm moving on to the frame. Now this frame is a little damaged, so I will need to fix this frame up a little bit. My hands, all the muscles in them, absolutely killing me. All right, I'm gonna pop this one away. I'm gonna get the next one out. The next one looks like it's got all the putty falling out of it, so I may have to take the glass out of that because... All right, come on, you're going away. Oh, these windows are so heavy. I'm definitely gonna need the crane to install them. This one's actually in terrible condition. Actually don't want to pull it out because the glass looks like it's already coming out. I feel like I'm going to have to be a bit more careful with it, and I don't know if pulling it out here is the best idea. So you see the glass coming out there. So I think it's best I get the glass out of this one because otherwise it's probably going to break. The frame all seems to be wobbly too, like it's broken and it's all eaten away. So I might actually have to add some new jarrah to this one. This frame's quite badly damaged. Silly me, I've just remembered that both the container doors are open and I can open both of them and get it out. Goose. First job is getting this putty out, which doesn't look to be too hard. Oh, it's just coming out.
You know, I don't even really know where to begin.
I've just successfully got the glass out intact. Woo! Since I have family friends that work in glass, I know how dangerous it is. So I'm definitely going to keep my gloves on and put this somewhere safe where it can't shatter or cut me or anything like that. Hopefully taking the glass out makes it easier to sand too. Oh wow, look at that. This is coming off. Shit. Wow. A lot of this frame may have to be replaced. Not good. A lot of this frame is going to have to be replaced, I would say. It either wasn't sealed or it was in a bad location or, yeah. It looks like, from what I can see, it was an exterior window or something that wasn't under cover. It looks like the seal is the most damaged, so it looks like water has just constantly dripped and dripped on that. Not as much sanding on this one though. And it's a window that doesn't open because it's for upstairs as well. Oh, what a day. I am covered from head to toe in sawdust and paint and gross stuff. And I don't know if you saw that because it was on time lapse. But when I started sanding this part, wow, that's how you know when wood isn't good. It was just coming off. And I feel like it's like half the size of that bit of wood. So that's definitely getting replaced, and the bit that I pulled off. The rest of it seems okay, except for this top piece where I feel like they just picked a really bad piece of wood. Yeah, it's definitely damaged. But I did know I was going to come across damage because they are secondhand windows. Are very, very old. That is definitely a wrap for me today.
A small town in a little oasis where my big dreams were gonna take me places. I would make bets with the rising sun and tell him all I had done. Well, late night walks into Lindbergh Park, and sometimes I kiss a girl even after dark. And I never had to shout, 'cause I could hear my thoughts out loud. I just wanna make you proud. And Little Falls, you're a small town, honey. Rich in love, but not in money. Even if I change my tempo, not gonna let go of everything you meant to me. And Little Falls, you will stay my home. And if I move on when I am full grown, I will still make bets with the rising sun, like I did when I was young. Not all my memories are good though, but I wouldn't change them if I could, no. Big smiles and ridiculous laughter, I will fold that in. And remember where I begin. You are my next of kin. Little Falls, you're a small town, honey. Rich in love, but not in money. Even if I change my tempo, not gonna let go of everything you meant to me. And Little Falls, you will stay my home. And if I move on when I am full grown, I will still make bets with the rising sun, like I did when
Today I'm back to clearing the garden, but instead of clearing the logs into my firewood shelter or burn piles, I'm going to be trying to utilize them for garden beds in my garden area. So what I'd love to do is cut some long logs and then transport them onto the quad and then into the garden area so I can make little garden bed areas and get that garden all ready to flourish after winter time this year. I'm hoping it can just grow beautiful and evolve, just turn into a lush jungle. Let's do it.
You've seen the Breakfast Club a million times before. You miss your sister's room with Joey on the door. The walks you take with Steve, he always seems so cool. He give you cigarettes when you were home from school. 'Cause I see something to you. You know to hear them. Take off your glasses you bought for the masses. You stare at your freckles and think of the time top nines were cool and comb in your hair, surrounded by Game Boys and hot pink look hair. 'Cause I'm tired of being alone. Crack open the shell with my
Let me show you what I've done. So I've been clearing mainly this pile for the last, well, it's been 2 days, over 2 weeks. And it's about half the size now, which is fantastic. It was a massive pile. And then I've got a little bark pile here. But I've been putting borders in this garden here, so I need to put some more. Once I put the borders in too, I can also build up the soil. But the garden is starting to come together. So there's going to be little paths all throughout the garden, kind of like rock paths like this. And eventually what I'm going to do is get some kind of like substrate that's heavier than leaves and have that all down in the garden area. The start of one of the little pathways, and this is just a little example of how the stepping stones will look. They're not in or anything yet, but there'll be something like this and kind of split up throughout the garden here. And I'll build these up once I get the borders around them nicely. I've got some plants growing in there and in here. And this is all the fence so that the bunnies and everything can't get in. So I've definitely got a lot more logs to complete this, which is good. Got plants growing in here. The stepping stones are so cute. And the trees are going to have like an archway as well, so things are growing over them and it'll be like a clearly defined pathway. But yeah, the whole thing's going to take a very long time to complete. But it's getting there, it's getting there.
The light on, I'm coming home. I no longer want to roam. Set the table, 'cause I know that I'm running out of road. I wandered for miles all around. Dawn had left me sunset bound. The only time I was ever found was when I got lost in you. Thought I'd never change my ways. Been a nomad all my days. But you shook me to my core. Now there's nothing I want more.